Hey everybody, it's meteorologist Brad Panovich here. Let's talk about this Friday storm. We're finally getting this system out of here that's kind of over the mountains tonight, but let's get real about what's heading our way later this week. So where is this system? Well, let me show you. It's out here in the middle of the country, just starting to organize. You can kind of see it right there. There's one part, that's the upper low. The low pressure itself is going to form down here, and these will all be crucial to how this thing kind of unfolds over the next 24 hours. It's kind of interesting to see the upper level low kind of form here and head our way and then eventually push to the southeast and form a surface low. So let me show you. We'll go hour by hour here. You can see high pressure in control for Wednesday and Thursday. So really no major issues for the next 2 days. So we got 48 hours of smooth sailing. Things start to get interesting going in late Thursday night, and really this is going to be after midnight, so it's really Friday morning. The system moves in. Now, there's not a ton of cold air. If you watched any of my vlogs or any of my on-air forecasts, you know this is not a classic snow setup for us. The track of the low is not bad. I'll give it that. The problem is we don't have cold air in place. So this thing has to generate its own cold air. And what we mean by that is the cold air has to move down from the upper levels of the atmosphere. So when you look at this, you see the surface low cranking up here, but the snow is actually way back here because that's where the upper low is and the cold air aloft actually gets taken down to the surface and where we have the potential to actually see some of that cold air aloft. So let me show you. This is the 500 millibar chart, and I show you this because it shows the cutoff low, and I'm going to stop this early on Friday morning because you see this pocket of kind of aquamarine or aqua, I don't know, it's like a greenish blue there. That's actually where the temperatures are cold enough for snow at 5,000 to 6,000 feet. So that's the upper low. When all the rain is over us initially, it's just too warm at the surface and aloft. But as the cold air aloft comes in, it's not super great. It lines up. If you can get the cold air aloft to line up with the moisture, you can get a quick band of heavy wet snow. And that's the thing. This is not an ice setup. It's really, though there could be some sleet, it's not really a great sleet setup. It's really going to be snow or rain. And the problem is the coldest air actually comes in behind the system. So we've got this problem where there's a small crossover for where this stuff actually happens. So let me show you what I'm thinking right now, the chances to see accumulating snow. It really is the highest in the mountains and the foothills and the northwest Piedmont. In the area that I've been focusing on, we are going to see snow here. This is probably the surest bet we have. We're more than likely going to see snow in here. Where we have huge question marks is here, and I honestly think 95% of it's rain. So I don't think we're going to see snow in Charlotte that is enough to make a snowman, a snowball, cause issues, sled, all that stuff. Probably not going to happen. So I've kind of drawn this out to show you the area I'm thinking right now. I'm thinking snow is going to be in the white and the rain-snow mix is in pink, and in Charlotte it's unfortunately predominantly going to be rain mixed with some snow. Sure, we could see snow fall from the sky, but it's not going to be sticking as it moves in, and it's just not a good setup for snow here. So let's look at FUTURECAST. I think this is a great example. It shows this quite well. I've actually put the temperatures on here because the temperatures will be key to this not really being a major issue on the roads outside of the heavier snow in the mountains and foothills. So obviously no issues for the next couple of days. But as we get into early Thursday, or Thursday night into Friday morning, look at the northeast winds developing. You can see the temperatures are in the 30s and 40s. Here comes the precipitation. Now, it's probably going to start as rain in most locations, but it could briefly mix in with snow and then go back to rain. But look where the primary snow is. It's up there in the foothills, northwest Piedmont, I-40 corridor. It's just not looking like a good setup. In fact, even here, I think it's a quick burst, but there could be mixing in. And look at the temperatures. In the upper 30s, mid 30s, even where the snow is heaviest, it's barely near or above freezing or below freezing. So this is wet, heavy snow. The only way you get big accumulations out of this is if it snows super hard, like pukes snow, big fat, those big saucer-shaped flakes, that it can accumulate on all surfaces, but primarily elevated, tree branches, cars, rooftops, grass, and the road's just wet. In Charlotte, even if we see snow mixing with the rain, there's so much rain, the temperature is 37 degrees, you're not looking at major issues on the roads. It's just going to be wet. Remember, snow isn't always a problem on the roads. It's got to be below freezing, and the road's got to be cold for it to cause issues. Snow falling is essentially rain that's just colder. So you get the same impact as a cold rain. Now, in the tail end, the cold air tries to come in here late Friday and it tries to swing back to snow briefly, but I think that's, grasping at straws. I think the best chance of snow is going to be probably mid-afternoon when we get what's called a deformation zone. Somewhere in here we could see a band of heavy snow form. Where does that end up forming? It's really hard to say. I think it'll be up here, but could it shift to the south? Certainly, that's a possibility. And just to show you, I'm going to back this up to about right here, and I'm going to play with the model data. This is one of the cool things you can do with this, is I'm going to take the model data, and I'm actually going to adjust the distance. So let's shift this thing 30 miles south. Or 30, I did 30 miles north. Let me do it 30 miles south. Look at that. Just a 30-mile shift in where that pocket of cold air is does bring the mix more into the Charlotte area. Let's move it 50 miles south. I keep doing, sorry, 50 miles south. Okay. Let's bring it closer to 60 to 70. So that's if it moves 60 or 70 miles, 45 miles, 35 miles. Let's say it moves north, though, 10, 15 miles. It starts pushing the snow line north. So you can see we can adjust this by small magnitudes, and it will change where that sets up. So overall, the chance of seeing heavy snow in Charlotte is about as close to nothing as I can give you right now. It's just not looking like that potential is there. I would love to say otherwise, but I just don't see the setup unfolding for us right now. But I'm going to give you the first snowfall map. Here's the 5 o'clock. We just put this in there just to show you real quickly. You can see, there it is. Maybe a burst of snow at the tail end. Possibly. I mean, that's our best chance. I doubt it'll stick. So let me show you the first snowfall map I put together tonight. Again, this will change. Here's what I'm thinking as far as snowfall potential. And this is for accumulations. I don't know where that 4 to 6 came from way out there. That's wrong. I'm thinking a trace to an inch, possibly along in North 85. So really, you got to get north 85. 1 to 2 inches right along I-40 and just north of I-40, 2 to 4 inches, and then you get into the mountains, you're probably looking at 4 to 6 inches. And for the mountains, because it's going to be really elevation dependent, I made this graphic, which I like using to show people the difference in elevation. Highest elevation, 6 to 8 inches, 3,500 and above, probably 3 to 6. The valleys, probably 2 to 4. So places like Boone, Blowing Rock, Jefferson, Valley Crucis, probably 2 to 4. And then the foothills, 1 to 3 inches is an area we'll watch. And the closer you get to the mountains, the higher that number. And for those who aren't great with maps, I'm going to throw this up real quickly. I always like showing, just breaking it down by cities. And I'm going to take my face out of here so you don't have to see it. Hold on, let me a sec. So you don't have to see it. But you can see for most of the Charlotte area, south of 85, I've got a rain to trace to a half an inch, possibly just north of Charlotte, and then 1 to 3 up there in the northwest Piedmont I-40 corridor. That's kind of my thought process right now. Now, we're still 48 hours out from this hitting, so a lot of this can change, and you can see this is as of 11 o'clock tonight. This will be my update. I could see this changing a little bit, but I will tell you, just looking at the guidance coming in tonight, the trends have really been that this doesn't have enough cold air. It's going to be mostly rain. If we get a burst of snow, it's going to be probably at the tail end. It's going to be short-lived, and it's going to be one of those things where snow, snow, snow. Everyone's like, oh my gosh, it's snowing, and then it shuts off, and the snow melts almost immediately as it reaches the ground. The best chances are still going to be up here in the foothills. Of course, I'll be tracking over the next couple of days. You can count on more blogs and vlogs from me. I will post them. This one was kind of long, but I want to do an update because I actually had my first snowfall map for this system.